Okay, now we're going to talk about the difference of squares when we're factoring. Our goals for today, I want you to recognize a special product, the difference of squares, and also want you to be able to factor a difference of squares polynomial. So first of all, a difference of squares is simply a perfect square minus a perfect square. X squared minus 49 is an example. Can you take the square root of x squared? Well, sure, that's just x. Now, what about 49? Can you take the square root of 49? Yes, that's 7 times 7. Okay, but I want to get a negative 49. So positive 7 times a positive 7 will only give me a positive 49. So I know one is going to be negative and the other is going to be positive. So when I factor it, I'm going to have x plus 7 times x minus 7. And if you're not sure if your work is correct, you can always distribute and check. X times x gives you x squared. X times negative 7 gives you negative 7x. 7 times x gives you a positive 7x. And 7 times negative 7 gives you a negative 49. Combine your terms. I have x squared. Negative 7x plus 7x adds up to 0 minus 49. So x plus 7 times x minus 7 is the proper factorization. Now what about this one? I have x squared minus 64y squared. Well, what do I do with the x squared? Well, I already know that I'm going to have x times x. 64. Can I take the square root of 64? Yes, it's 8. So I'm going to have x plus 8 times x minus 8. Oh, I can't forget about this y squared. Well, I'm going to do just like I did with the x. Because y times y is going to give me y squared. Or the square root of y squared will just be y. Now let's look at 16z to the 4th minus 81. Can I take the square root of 16? Oh, sure, that's just going to be 4 times 4. This one looks different, but once you know the process will always remain the same. Now, what's the square root of z to the 4th power? What do you think I'm going to do? Well, what if I had z squared times z squared? What would that give me? You're right, that'll give me z to the 4th. So I'm going to have 4z squared and 4z squared. 81. Can I take the square root of 81? That's right, it's 9. So I'm going to have plus 9 minus 9. Now some of you may be going, oh, you always put the positive first and then the negative? It doesn't really matter. If you were to write your answer as 4z squared minus 9 times 4z squared plus 9, that's just as correct as what I wrote. I'm just in the habit of writing my positive number first. Okay, what about 4x squared plus 81? Well, can I take the square root of 4? Sure. That's 2, and x squared, that's going to give me an x. So 2x and 2x, 81. Oh, uh-oh. What's wrong with this? I have a positive. It's not a difference of two squares. It's a sum of two squares. So I cannot factor this because of that little bitty plus sign. So I'm finished. There's nothing I can do with this problem.